So I'm Naeem Fazal. I grew up in Kuwait, which is an Arab country, but I'm actually Pakistani. And so it's been really interesting to be here in the U.S. and be an immigrant. Kind of when you think about it, had quite the journey here. You know, growing up, I thought of myself as a spiritual person. Like, I was well aware that there was a God. I never was one of those guys who went through a phase where I don't believe there's a God. I knew there was something out there. I didn't know for sure if Islam was it. I mean, I was very comfortable in Islam. Islam is such a ritualistic religion that it tells you what you should wear, you know, how you should live, and I mean it dominates every area of your life. And so, like, growing up, my sisters, I had two sisters, they wore the hijab, which was, you know, the head covering, but it also covered everything. The men couldn't wear shorts. It was kind of looked down upon. Even to some point, shaving, like, when, you know, facial hair was something you should have as a Muslim. It's kind of strange. But then you prayed 5 times a day. You prayed in a particular language, which was Arabic, classic Arabic. You had to remember and recite the verses. Pray a certain direction, pray on a certain mat, pray a certain time. So Islam was very much this is what you need to do, and there was a whole lot of stuff to connect to God. The way I got introduced to something else was because my brother, when he graduated from high school, he got accepted while in Kuwait to a college here. He came here and he got into a school which was a Spartanburg Methodist school. It's like a Christian school. And he came back then in the summer and told me and my brothers and sisters that he was a Christian. And I just had a crazy reaction to him. It was the first time I encountered Christianity. It was anger. I couldn't believe that he would not follow Islam, and he wanted to tell everybody that he was a Christian, and so I was very aggressive against it. In 1990, Iraq invaded Kuwait, and that lasted for about 9 to 10 months. They moved in, they took over the country, most immigrants left. My parents and I my family decided that we were going to stay. And in 1992 is when the country started becoming normalized a little bit. Kuwait was liberated, everybody was coming back. And so I got a visa to come to the US, and I came to visit my brother. But my goal was to just stay in this country. My dad actually told me, hey, don't come back. So he was like, figure out a way, get into college, do something, because there's nothing for you here in Kuwait. You're an immigrant here, and you've never been to Pakistan, so you got to figure it out. So when I came here, I got introduced to, like, Christianity, and I got introduced to, you know, the gospel, where, you know, Christians talk about the gospel. I didn't know what that was. And some radical things happened in my life that changed everything, and that's why I converted. I was really not interested in becoming a Christian, but I was very intrigued with this conviction or this confidence my brother had about the gospel, which was that God is a creator God, He's a Father. And my brother said that if you would ask God to reveal Himself, ask Jesus to reveal Himself, He'll do it. And so I did. I asked, and I actually wrote a whole book about it. You know, I wrote a whole book, and it's stories of me and my two sisters coming to faith, my younger brother coming to faith, and so many other people. But what really did it for me was one night, and this is crazy, just want to let you know, it's crazy. One night I was trying to fall asleep, and I was about to fall asleep, but all of a sudden something weird started happening in the room, and I felt like death walked in. It was surreal. And as I was trying to figure out what was happening, I felt like there were things in the room, but I couldn't see them, but I could feel them, and it was weird. And as I was trying to figure out what that was, something grabbed my shoulders and dragged me, pulled me. So then I just start freaking out, and I'm trying to make like more sounds, like I'm yelling, screaming, cussing. I don't know what to do, because I'm thinking can't be real. And this thing starts walking closer to me, and it communicates like it's going to kill me. And at that point, I'm thinking, oh, this is definitely a spiritual thing. And I thought maybe this is like the God of Islam. His name is Allah. Maybe he's angry at me because I started, considering Christianity or something, or looking into it. And in Islam faith, in the Islamic faith, doubt is looked down upon, like Allah takes it personally, apparently, or something like that. It was kind of crazy. And so then I thought maybe it's, Jesus, or I didn't know what in the world was going on. And this thing was closer and closer. I'm like praying to any God out there, Allah, Buddha, Oprah, whoever. And so it reaches me, but then it disappears. And whatever was holding me lets go. And so I'm just done in my bed, don't know what's going on, and I'm in shock. So I slowly get up, run out of the room, wake up my brother, and I ask him, what did you do? Like, did you put something in my drink or something? I mean, I didn't know what I had just experienced. I just sat there as he began to tell me about demons and angels, and that the Bible, especially the New Testament, had a lot of stories about Jesus encountering demons and who cast out demons, and about demon possession. I mean, it was all in the Bible. Well, I didn't know that at all. I just thought the Bible was, the Western Christian version of the Quran, like a list of things not to do. I didn't know there were stories like that. And so he began to tell me, I was hoping partly that, I was hoping it wasn't real. I was hoping he would just say, oh, you're just dreaming, you're hallucinating, I don't know, something. But when he told me this stuff was real, the fear of this thing trying to kill me became very, very, tangible in one sense and real to me. And so I finally was like, hey, dude, I need help. Like, I need some serious help. And he goes, well, the only person I know who has authority over demons and angels is Jesus. And I go, well, let's do that. And so he prayed for me, and I prayed. And my prayer was, Jesus, I don't know who you are, because, I just don't know. I can't say, like, you're the Lord of my life, the Savior of my life, and all that. I just don't know who you are. But if you will save me from this, I'll give you my whole life. So that was my prayer, my first prayer. So my brother prayed for me, and then after we were done, I was like, okay. And he was like, all right, man, here's a Bible, and I'll see you in the morning, And I'm thinking, move over, I want to spoon you. I'm thinking, I'm not going back in that room. He goes, no, you got to go back in the room. And finally, I go back in the room, and he gives me a world's smallest Bible, I think. It's like the Gideon Bible. It's like a small pocket Bible. It's like the New Testament. And I didn't know what that was. That was my first Bible, So go back in the room, turn on all the lights, and begin reading this. And an hour into it, I'm just frustrated, angry, confused. I'm like, I don't want any of this. I don't want to be a Muslim. I don't want to be a Christian. I don't want to be spiritual. I want anything up there or whatever to leave me alone. I just want to live a normal life, And so I'm just really, really frustrated. And I put the Bible down, go shut off the lights, come back to my bed, and in the dark, I look up and I go, Jesus, if I die tonight, it is your fault. I mean, I'm like, I know, it's crazy. I didn't know what was going on. And so I put the covers over my head, and I was hoping nothing would happen. And the next thing I know, something would begin to shake. It felt like 10 minutes later, but something starts shaking me, and I'm like, oh no, here we go. What's going on? And the next second, I realize I'm sitting on my bed with my eyes open, looking into this presence. And it says, I'm Jesus, and your life is not your own. I'm Jesus, and your life is not your own. And I remember realizing or feeling that presence was so intoxicating. It was the strangest thing. It was like I was looking at him, but I was inside of him. It was the weirdest, strangest thing. And in fact, the reason why I say it was intoxicating is because I couldn't keep my eyes off of him, but I couldn't keep my eyes open either, and I just fell asleep. But it's amazing how these kind of experiences are not that uncommon, which you don't really hear about them. But I've encountered so many people who've had these life-altering experiences. So after my conversion, and basically when I became Christian, I didn't realize that I'd broken a Muslim law, which was the Sharia law, which forbids people to change this, change from Islam, and it's punishable by death or imprisonment for life. And I did not realize that, but because of that, the U.S. government, gave me a refugee status, and I was able to stay here. And so it really worked out for me to stay here, and so I was able to graduate from the College of Charleston, and met Ashley, my wife, there. And now we have 2 kids, and recently, or not recently, about 9 years ago, we left the church in Charleston and planted Mosaic Church, and it's been quite the journey. In fact, March 1st, we'll celebrate our 9-year anniversary. And Mosaic, the church, is kind of an odd name for a church, but my wife is from the South, and I'm obviously from the East, the Middle East, and so we have quite the cultural differences. And we just realized that if we were going to be a part of the church, if we were going to start a church that would reach people for God, it needs to be a church that reaches the world for God in terms of the different kinds of people that are in this world. And so Mosaic, we say, is like a mosaic of something. It's a mosaic of people coming together to make something beautiful. Sometimes we also say it's in fact broken people coming together to make something beautiful, just like a mosaic glass would do. And so a mosaic, when we gather together, we try to strip away all the things that might be distracting for people, and so we come together surrounded by 3 major values, this idea of faith, hope, and love. And so sometimes we say at Mosaic, or often we say that at Mosaic, we are a diverse community that lives by faith, that's known by love, and that's a voice of hope. And so we're excited about what God's doing in us, but also through us. And so we're looking forward to the future.